Yeah, good night. And build up the live. We're going to build the live of tonight. We're going to talk about how we're going to retrain the pancreas tonight. Yeah. Anybody who have diabetes, I'm teaching you now to retrain your pancreas. I will teach you all how to retrain on your pancreas. Making you all feel you can fix diabetes, yeah? Alright, let's go. Let me look at some herbs here tonight again. This herb called parsley is a very important herb for the blood. It builds the blood. And a lot of women who have what we call menorrhagia, where they have what we call excessive bleeding, yeah? Because we know that a lot of women have troubles in the menses, and they bleed for a long period of time. Hi, Sophie. You're on time. Anthony Johnson, greetings, my brother. Alex Samuel, my brother from Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada. Alex Samuel, love you, my brother. Yeah, this herb called parsley. We know for a fact that parsley, if you use too much of this plant, it can disarray the nervous system. Yeah? Can make you get shaky. But it is a very important herb to build the blood. Yeah? Good night, Arlene. Lydia, good night. Miss Hernandez. So we use this herb here called sorrel or hibiscus. This herb have 22% iron. It have 25% silicon. It have lots of silica. So this herb called sorrel has more iron than beets. Beets only have 5%. This herb have 21% or 22% of iron. So parsley mixed with this herb, if you have troubles as a woman with period troubles, what we call menorrhagia, you can use this herb with parsley, yeah, and another herb called chickweed. Where's chickweed? Show me what chickweed are. The main man Ashanti go show me it is. There we go. So you can use this herb called chickweed, and chickweed also help it with weight loss. If you want to lose some weight, you can use chickweed. But chickweed also builds the blood. And it have lots of iron, so you can mix your chickweed with your parsley and your yellow dock root. And this herb here called yellow dock root. Yellow dock root have lots of iron, but it helps the liver to absorb the iron. So once you want to build the blood, we can use this herb, yellow dock root, which helps the liver to absorb it, although it have iron there. We can use chickweed, don't forget. We can use parsley. We can use sorrel. And we can use another herb called Rehmannia to work on the spleen, because the spleen builds the blood and the liver stores the blood. All right, don't forget that. We'll teach you all about plants. The next herb we're going to talk about tonight before you go on the program is Solomon seal. You see this herb over here, Solomon seal? This herb is very significant for the lung, especially if you have lung cancer or if you have scarring of the lung. So lots of people who have what we call saccharidosis, where the immune system attacks the lungs, scarring the lung tissue, or COPD. You can use this herb mixed with, we call Solomon seal, mixed with elecampane or mullein leaf, and saw palmetto and ginseng. And these herbs will get rid of the scarring of the lung and cause the lung to function a little better. So don't forget the herb. Solomon seal is very significant for that. This one is called Collinsonia or stone root. And this herb is very significant for vascular integrity, especially if men want to have a good erection and want to keep the veins strong, so the blood going through the penis going to stay hard. They got to get this herb here called Collinsonia, and you can mix this herb with ginkgo and horse chestnut and lycium fruit and horton, and you get a good erection if you are suffering from ED, erectile dysfunction. Yeah? So the next one we're going to talk about again tonight. Before we go to the program. Wild cherry bark. And this is a very good herb for the vocal cord. And it's good for pertussis, when you have whooping cough, they call it. In children, very significant for whooping cough. But if you have a child that have the whooping cough, and the child have what we call trouble with speaking, or singer, who is singing and losing their voice, use some wild cherry bark and mix that wild cherry bark with some lemon balm and some echinacea. And if there is any kind of trouble in the throat, you can put some golden seal or some garlic, and you're going to fix any kind of trouble in your vocal cord. We're going to talk about those and another set of herbs again next time, okay? Wonderful. But tonight we're going to talk about how we're going to retrain the pancreas to function. So the question is, we're going to look at the glycemic index. I'm going to show you what my sugar level is at tonight, and we're going to show you now what after you eat sugars, what can happen to the pancreas. Number one, this is a mango. This is an apple. This is a grape. This is a tangerine. Yeah, they are all sugars. Yeah, so a lot of people who have diabetes always feel because these fruits have natural sugars that they can ingest them on a regular basis. That is not true, because although they are natural sugars, they can elevate your sugar very high, because your sugar need to be, your pancreas need to be retrained. So the question is, the glycemic index in this fruit. Can anybody give me the glycemic index in mangoes? Give me the glycemic index in mangoes, if you know what the glycemic index are in this particular fruit, the mango. I'm looking. Give me the glycemic index in a mango. Well, nobody can. Okay. The glycemic index in a mango is 55. The glycemic index in an apple is 44. So instead of eating a mango, you can eat an apple. Yeah? The glycemic index in the tangerine is about 40. Yeah? It's according to if it's sour or sweet. Yeah? Now, the glycemic index in the okra, yeah, is what? 22 glycemic index. So instead of the diabetic eating a mango or an apple or a tangerine, it's better the diabetic eat some okra, because the glycemic index is very low. What is the glycemic index in the beans? All these beans here are what we call primary foods. And then this is what we call a secondary food. So the primary food is very important, because they have the protein foods, but you have to use the primary with the secondary to normalize the proteins in these foods. But the glycemic index in these foods are only 28. You follow me? But the glycemic index in this food is a little higher. It's about 35. You understand? So this grain have more sugar than this primary food. So once we want to retrain the pancreas now, we have to remove all of them, because this here have a glycemic index of 48. White bread have a glycemic index of 70. And whole wheat have a glycemic index of 69. So a lot of diabetics say, well, I eat whole wheat bread. But the whole wheat bread is not much different than the white bread, because the white bread is what we call 170 glycemic index, and the whole wheat is 69. Same amount of sugar you're going to get anyway. So now, your best bet when you have diabetes or to retrain your pancreas is to go in now and look at the foods with the glycemic index. And then once you know the glycemic index of the foods, then you will be able to retrain the pancreas. And that's what we're going to teach you tonight. Because this food here, called watercress, glycemic index is about 9 or 10, because it's bitter. It works to your liver, right? So we're going to go and we're going to teach you. Hold on to that, son. There we go, son. We're going to teach all you. When I finish with the public, the hospital will be empty. They will like me. You see, because I'm teaching you how to retrain. It's just like a person who crippled. Give thanks and praise to the Most High. It's just like a person who's crippled. Yeah? And then they have to go back and learn how to walk again. It's a common sense thing. It's wisdom. So once a man get crippled, he have to go into rehabilitation. And he have to go and he have to walk with this little stuff and hold on and walk for a while. And then after a while, he start walking on his own, because now he have to retrain himself on how to walk. So you, after you mess up your pancreas, long term, you have to go back now and you have to retrain your pancreas to function well. And we're going to show you now how you can do that if you have diabetes. And we're going to show you how you can do that to prevent pancreatitis and pancreatic cancer, which is on the rise. Yeah? Go. Hold on. And then, everybody, diabetes or not, should have a diabetic machine in their house. I do, and I don't have diabetes. I do have a high blood pressure machine in my house. So I check all the time. Because sometimes you can have diabetes and don't even know you have it. And you're walking around like if everything is okay. But your sugar level is high. Until you get a symptom, you know what I mean, of kidney damage, or neuropathy, or renopathy. And then you know something is wrong. You see what I'm saying? So the machine is important, but it's very imperative that you also have a doctor do your A1C in the blood to see how high your sugar levels are. But everybody should have a diabetic machine in their house, having diabetes or not. And this video or this presentation is for educational purposes, Mr. Facebook. Wonderful. When you come to Q1, anything, yeah? Now, function of the pancreas. The first part is the endocrine. And the endocrine part of the pancreas produce what? And send the hormone insulin to control the amount of sugar in the bloodstream. Now, if the beta cells is damaged, then you, the patient or the individual or the child, cannot produce insulin because your beta cells is damaged. What damage the beta cell, Patrick, does? Lots of things. The immune system can attack the beta cells and damage the beta cells, and then you have no insulin. That's called juvenile onset diabetes. But even though juvenile onset diabetes affect children, older people now who lose the enzyme function long term of the pancreas, they seem to come down with type 2, but no or less insulin. And then they become insulin resistant. We're going to talk about that, right? So this is the first part of the pancreas called the endocrine system. Endocrine part. And the endocrine part of the pancreas is controlled by what, Patrick, does? By the pituitary gland in your brain. We're going to talk about that. Without the pituitary gland, there is no insulin production. Yeah? And Dr. Sebastian Peter said, Patrick, that's why you know all these things, because I study these things. I study the body. God give me wisdom. And he's an endocrinologist, you know. The exocrine part of the gland produces enzymes, protease, lipase, amylase, to do what? To aid digestion. So the pancreas is the most active gland in our digestive system. The pancreas, as I said before, it is the most active gland in our digestive system. You understand? Although it have only 2 functions, but it's so active. You see? And it become active at a certain time of the day. A certain time of the day, between 10 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening, is when the pancreas is active. That's when he's bad. You see, after 6 p.m., he is now going and taper down to regenerate. And if you, the individual, do not give the pancreas the time to regenerate between the hours of 8 and 1 and 1 and 3 a.m. in the morning, you're going to have troubles in the pancreas long term. And you're going to get either pancreatitis, or you're going to get pancreatic cancer, or you're going to get diabetes and complication from that disease. So we're going to teach you how to retrain it if it's all messed up. All right, so we know the endocrine part of the pancreas produces and send the hormone insulin to control the amount of sugar in the bloodstream, because insulin is like a hormone, is like a key. You see? So the insulin has to come like this, and it must go into the receptor, and you have to open the door. Ooh, and then after you open the door, the sugar goes in, ooh, and we burn the sugar as fuel. Because sugar goes up and out. Don't forget that now. Yeah? And this exocrine part of the gland produces enzyme, protease, lipase, amylase, to what? To aid digestion. We're going again now. What organ maintains our glucose levels? Answer, the liver does that. And because the pancreas is tucked under the liver have to maintain our glucose levels. So the liver, because it produces bile, and that bile production supposed to turn certain acid into alkaline, pH that is, the liver is important in maintaining our glucose levels because the bile and the bile salts that the liver produces is very significant in keeping this part of the body, which is the small intestines and the pancreas enzyme pH in an alkaline terrain, because bile deals with alkalinity. So the liver maintains our glucose levels. Which organ releases wet sugar into the blood? The liver. See the liver again. So when your sugar levels go low, your liver supposed to wring the wet sugar and release it back into the bloodstream so you could get better. So you don't have to faint. You understand? Which gland control pancreatic function? Answer, the pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland in your brain controls the function of your pancreas, because it is part of the endocrine system, but because the anterior part of the gland is so significant, it helps with the production in terms of the pancreas of your what? Of your insulin. So the gland in your brain called the pituitary gland controls the pancreas. It also controls the sex organs in men and in women. It also controls the thyroid gland. It also controls the kidney, the pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland also controls your adrenals. You understand? That gland. So the pituitary control pancreatic function because of that enzyme called that hormone called insulin. Without the pituitary, your pancreas cannot produce insulin. And no doctor who deals with endocrinology could do that either, unless they know better. Which gland sends a signal to the liver to release wet sugar back into the bloodstream? Answer, the adrenal glands. So once your sugar levels drop low and you have hypoglycemia, because hypoglycemia could come from too much sugars too. Lots of people know that. Lots of people do not know that too much sugars in the diet can cause you to go hypoglycemia long term. See? So once you drop under a certain level, if you drop under 60 milligram per deciliter, that's low in the medical system, and then your adrenal glands say, uh-oh, this person's sugar is too low, so the adrenals have to send a signal now to your liver to release the wet sugar back into the blood so that your sugar could go higher. You don't faint and get irritable, because the body is one entity, they work together. There's different parts of it, right, son? There you go. I'm teaching you all tonight. Where is amylase produced beside the pancreas? Amylase is also produced in the small intestines and also in your saliva beside the pancreas. So amylase is produced where? In the saliva. It is produced in the pancreas, and it's also produced in the small intestines. So you take a piece of bread or some piece of bread, and you start chewing that piece of bread or a piece of potato, and then all the saliva, the enzyme in the saliva called amylase, starting to break down the sugar chains right in your mouth with all the starches. And then when the starch gets into your stomach, then the amylase that is produced in your saliva, the acid in your stomach kills the amylase. So the amylase is dead.
in the stomach because the acid pH in your stomach kills the amylase that break down your starches or your carbohydrate, whatever they call it, sugar. So your bread, after being chewed and being pre-digested in your saliva, when he gets into the stomach, he cannot stay. He moves because the acid kills the enzyme that breaks him down. So he runs, and he runs straight into your small intestines. And then your pancreas and then your small intestines start producing more of that amylase to finish the digestive process of the bread and the potato in the small intestines. That's how it works. But because you mess up that process long term, you in turn mess up your pancreas. And because the medical system did not show you how to retrain it, he put you on a drug forever and ever. Amen. We go show you now right there, son. There we go, man. Here we go again. Wonderful. So the amylase is produced also in the mouth, in the small intestines, and also in the pancreas. We go again. In what pH does the pancreas function? The pancreatic secretion functions in a pH of 8.0 to 8.3 alkaline. But you mess it up so bad that you change that pH composition in your pancreas, and then long term, your pancreas starts to burn up the enzyme function in the exocrine part of the gland, and then you get diabetes, or you get pancreatitis, or you get pancreatic cancer from smoking and all the alcohol you've been drinking, and then you have no gallbladder. And because the gallbladder and the pancreas share one doctor, you are now messing up your gallbladder. And in turn, you mess up your gallbladder will affect the pancreas, and then you will get pancreatitis, number one. And number two, because you change up the pH in the pancreatic secretion, now you are not producing your enzyme inside the exocrine part of the gland, and you're not supposed to produce it inside there. You're supposed to produce all the enzyme outside the gland, and then you get pancreatitis, which can lead to pancreatic cancer. Take that. They don't teach you that because they want you to know the truth. Yeah. So the pH in the secretion of your pancreas, function in a pH of 8.0, 8.3. So they give you a drug, and the drug called metformin. Yeah. And they know for a fact that the two side effects of metformin is anemia, and what again Patrick does? Lactic acidosis. So if you have diabetes and they give you a drug taking 1,000 milligrams per day, and that same drug is causing you to get lactic acidosis, and your pH in your secretion of your pancreas functions in a pH of 8.0. Now, how you going to fix diabetes? Tell me. You can't, because the drug you're taking already is causing you to have lactic acidosis and anemia. So you have to take the drug forever and ever. Amen. See? So you have to retrain the pancreas and shoot back the enzyme function, and then also go back and retrain the pancreas. In that way, you can bring back the secretion to 8.0, 8.3. And when the pancreas function in that pH, you can never burn up the enzyme function. But when you put the pancreas secretion in an acid terrain, it starts to burn up the enzyme function because too much acid. Whoa! And then you start to get troubles in your digestive system. You start to get troubles with pancreatitis. And long term, you start to get a tumor in your pancreas. They call it pancreatic cancer. Tail of the head. Wonderful. In what pH do the small intestine function? The small intestine function in a pH of 6.5, 7.5, or even 6.0. Yeah? 7.5. in the ileum, in the jejunum, and the duodenum. All the pH down here in the small intestine is 6.5. But once the food gets once your food leaves the digestive system, upper that is, and it goes into the small intestines, your same pancreas start to produce what we call sodium bicarbonate, because the pancreas is wise and he knows that he must produce sodium bicarbonate to change the pH from 6.0, 6.5 to 7.5 in the ileum, so that you don't get duodenum ulcers. And you don't have the acid now from the intestine eating up the lining, causing you to have troubles with absorption. You can't absorb nothing. So the pancreas is very significant, man, in health. But because we burn it up so early in age that we kill it long term, and then the man comes and says to you, I have diabetes, and you can't fix it now because it's not reversible. Although diabetes is a complex disease, you can retrain your pancreas and push it back where it's supposed to be and help the pancreas to produce sodium bicarbonate to help the same small intestines to change the pH from 6.5 to 7.5, where you could function and finish and break down all your food down here. In what pH do the stomach function? Upper, 4.6, lower, 3.6. So now you're 1.3. But it shoots up to 3.6. That's what the stomach function. So if that's common sense, if you have all the acid from the stomach, just being all acidic because you're eating the wrong way, and then you know for a fact that the pancreatic secretion function in an alkaline terrain. Once you start messing up the stomach, you're going to start messing the pancreas up, because they are both part of the earth system. They are both part of the earth. The stomach and the pancreas is part of the earth system, including the small and the large intestine. They are the earth. So once you mess up the process in the stomach, you're going to mess up the pancreas long term, because the pancreas depends on the stomach. And then the stomach depends on the pancreas. And then the pancreas depends on the intestines. And the intestine depends on the pancreas. And then the pancreas depends on the liver. And the liver depends on the pancreas. And the gallbladder depends on the pancreas. And the pancreas depends on the gallbladder, because they are brothers and sisters in that particular area. Dig that now. Follow me. What do exocrine in the mucosa of the small intestine produces? Question: what do exocrine in the mucosa of the small intestine produce? Mucus. Mucus. Why mucus, Patrick? So everybody's talking about mucusless diet and mucusless diet. You must have mucus, son. Yeah? Mucusless diet. Too much acid, no good. You must have mucus. The body must have mucus in the mucous membranes. Mucin, they call it. So what do the exocrine in the mucosa of the small intestine produce? Mucus. Mucus. Because in the beginning, before the food gets into the small intestines, it is 6.0, 6.5 acidic. But the ileum, supposed to have a pH of 7.5, when the pancreas can send or produce sodium bicarbonate inside there. So the body is so wise, he have to protect the lining of your small intestines from the mucus before your pancreas can produce that sodium bicarbonate to send into the ileum to change the pH to 7.5. So what do the exocrine in the mucosa of the small intestine produce? Mucus, sucrase, maltase, lipase, lactase, peptidase. Follow me now. You see all the days. All the days. All the days. All the days. All the A's. Dig that. The body is very wise. You understand? But we mess it up. So once we mess up the intestines, and you start to not produce none of these things here, no mucus, you start getting what we call duodenum ulcers in the lower or the upper or the lower intestines, because nothing is working good. Yeah? And then you're eating one set of acid foods. Yeah? Stay right there, son. Come, son. You're eating a fish, and you're eating a fish with what? Potatoes. That's how the average person eat every day. You're eating a piece of rice, and you eat the rice with what? Chicken. That's what the average person eat. Acid diet. Acid. 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 That's what the average person eats every day. So they kill the pancreas long term. And if you have diabetes and you don't change how you eat, you can never ever retrain your pancreas. You can't. You think what happened? You see? Because you're still putting too much acid in the terrain of the pancreas, and then automatically it don't function properly. You burn the enzymes up. Number one. So, when you pass the age of 50 years old, you, the individual, do not produce 60% of the enzymes in the exocrine part of the pancreas once you get older. Don't forget I told you that. Plus, you are not eating the foods that have enzymes. So in no way you can retrain your pancreas. Because the pancreas needs enzymes, it needs insulin. Yeah? Enzymes and insulin, that's all it needs to function. See? But you don't feed it enzymes. And once you pass the age of 50, you do not produce 60% of the enzyme in the exocrine part of that gland. And once you pass the age of 50, you do not produce 50% of the acid in the stomach. You follow? You must get Parkinson's disease eventually. Dig that, man. Yeah? So, you eat potatoes, starch, acid. You eat chicken or fish or turkey, proteins, acid. You eat ripe plantain, macaroni and cheese, fats, acid. That's what you eat every day. 30 years eating that way. Not knowing, because they taught you to eat a pyramid diet. That's what we call a pyramid diet. Yeah? And a small amount of vegetables in your plate. So you eat the macaroni and cheese, the rice, the potato, and you eat it up, and you take a piece of chicken, put it in your mouth. Yeah? And they both get into the stomach together. Here what happens. We call it confusion. We call it Babel. We call it Babylon. Because Babylon means confusion. You are now creating confusion in your digestive system. Come over here, son. If you only follow my program how to eat, well, you will never get sick. You'll never get diabetes. And if you have it, you can fix it. Now, when you eat the starch with the protein, and they both get on here, the starch, which is the rice and the potato, he cannot stay here. He has to move. You understand? Because the acid that is produced in the upper and lower part of this organ kills the amylase that breaks the starches down. So he must move. And you have to run inside here. Yeah? To finish the digestive process down here. Yeah? But when you eat the rice and the potato and the macaroni and cheese with the chicken or the fish, he stays right here. He can't move because the rice have to move, but the chicken and the fish, which is the proteins, they get into the stomach, and then the acid also kills the protease that breaks down the chicken and the fish, and that's why the white man eat a lot of what we call rare meat. To get the protease in the rare meat. That's why you give me some meat on rare. Because you want to get all the protease in there. But you cook out the protease, but when the protease get into the stomach now, the fish that is, the acid kills the protease from the chicken and the fish, but the protease, the chicken and the fish have a backup called pectin that resists the acid. So all the proteins are just right there. But because you didn't know better, you start eating the protein with a starch, and they both get inside here, and then the starch say, oh my goodness, you eat me wrong, so I have to wait till this goddamn protein digests first, and the chicken takes 7 hours. Oh my goodness, Patrick, you're killing my ass. And then he said to you, God damn, you're killing me, man. The fish take 12 hours in your stomach. So the chicken is right here, digesting for 7 hours. And then the macaroni and cheese is sitting right here, and he's idling. And the rice staying right here, and he's idling. And the potato staying right here, and he's idling. And he have to wait for 7 hours. At 12 hours is according to how long the fish take to take 12 hours, that is. And he waits right in here, and he said, I can't go because the fish taking too long, so I go ferment in your ass now, man. I'm going to ferment. And he start fermenting. And once he start fermenting, he start causing acid to form. Acid to form. And then after the fish digests, the starch moves and he come down here. But he is so toxic already because he have pay toxicity, pay fermentation. He start changing the pH in the small intestines because now your pancreas is lazy now. The pancreas say, oh shoot, man, you stay too long in the stomach. I can't function, boy. So I'm going to kill your ass down here. I'm going to leave here unattended. And then you start getting duodenum ulcers. And then the fish is still here waiting to see if you come finish down here with your start food. And the start do so. And he all finish up here. And when he finish up here, the chicken and the fish do, and he moved down here. But he is also fermenting already. And he moved here. And when he moved here now, he's so fermented now, and gases start forming, excessive amount of gases, and then you start producing slow transit time, and you start producing ketol and formaldehyde inside here now, because once he ferments here, he gonna ferment there. And when the food ferment here and he sits here, he invites all these bacteria and all this acid, because now he's all messed up and fermented, and he have putrefaction. And once he putrefied, and putrefaction they call it, he start creating all these acid inside here. They call it Crohn's disease, or they call it mucus colitis, or they call it diverticulitis, or they call it IBS, or they call it, what do they call it again? They get all in there, they give them dysbiosis, all because you left him here for too long and you did not know how to repair him. And then, once you mess him up, you come right here and you mess him up to the pancreas. And then all of a sudden, after 20, 30 years of eating that way, the way they taught you to eat, you start getting diabetes. Because now you start changing the pH in this gland, which is the most active gland in the digestive system, and you start getting diabetes, and you start getting pancreatitis. And then the man coming to you, there's a tumor in your tail of your pancreas, or there's a tumor in the head of the pancreas. You start getting gallbladder stones, gallbladder malfunction, gallbladder sludge, because him and the gallbladder share one duct, man. And then automatically you mess him up, and when you come over here, son, you mess him up too, because he produces bile, and the bile is supposed to be alkaline, and the bile is supposed to be dumped inside here so he could emulsify your fats. But because you're eating the food so wrong in combination, he becomes fatty. You get a fatty liver, and when you have a fatty liver now, you start to get what you call insulin resistance, because now the fat is blocking the receptors, and the sugar can't get in, and they give you diabetes long time. Tell all your mind. That's what it is. That's what it is. You see? And you're going to the doctor now? Okay, now. You just eat a big plate of food. Yeah? And you're going, and you go check now. Come over here. Now, see how you're checking your sugar levels? Make sure your blood don't run. Make sure your blood do not run. If your blood is running, something is wrong. Make sure your blood stay at the ball. Brrr, can't run. Not supposed to run. If it's running, something is wrong. Brrr, you check your sugar, boom. Hit me there. Take it again. And all is just on the side. Don't do that. You're gonna feel it over here. On the side, over here is good. See? Over here, right there, boom. Yeah. That needle, up needle. Up your foot, Patrick Dello. What kind of thing is that? You afraid me out? Yeah, juke my man. Juke my man. Yeah? You afraid me out? Yeah? You afraid me out? Hold on, man, hold on. Okay, I'm coming for you, hold on. Come on, juke my man, juke my man, juke me, Jed, juke me. I feel it. I feel that juke. No be talking, man. Damn, son. See that? That blood supposed to stay just like that. Not supposed to run. If it runs, something is wrong. You do like that? No, see it here? See that? Keep the blood at the ball. If the blood ball, then you're cutting good, yeah? Boom. And see, check your sugar levels? Boom. Say one. And you say, damn. Ooh. What's that? 108 milligrams per deciliter. So I can go and eat an apple, which is 44 glycemic index, yeah? And then if I eat an apple, it might go up to 140, not 200 and come back down, 140 and come back down. See? So you should have a machine in your house to check before you eat and after you eat. And then you will know if your pancreas is functioning good. You see? Because you will know if the sugar you're eating is good or bad for you. Yeah, goodbye. Yeah, man. Yeah, do that. So, let me show you now how you can go in and retrain your pancreas. Yeah? In the medical system, they say you have insulin sensitivity, you have insulin resistance, and you have insulin deficiency. Yeah? What is insulin sensitivity? Insulin sensitivity telling us that I, Patrick Dels, can eat 2 slices of bread. Yeah, and Ashanti will eat 1 slice of bread. Yeah? And if I eat 2 slices of bread and my sugar levels go up to 110, and Ashanti eat 1 slice of bread and his sugar levels go up to 160, we know for a fact that Ashanti have insulin sensitivity. You follow me? That's why you have to have a machine to fix your diabetes. You understand? So once the person eats 2 slices of bread and the other person eats 1 slice of bread, and the person eats 2 slices, sugar goes up high, we know that that person have insulin sensitivity. What about insulin resistant, Patrick? Lots of people overweight, because we know for a fact that 90% of people who have diabetes, either they come from habits because of family members, not genetics now, but a genetic predisposition. Eating the same way. Your mother and father been eating, you get it too. If you have insulin resistance, yeah, you're going to eat a lot of fattening foods. The food all fat every day, fat, grease. Yeah? And all of a sudden now, your intestines cannot deal with all these fats, can't break it down because you have malabsorption. You're going to sleep in the night with food in your belly. You're doing it for 20 years. You're eating 4 or 5 times per day, and you're crowding up your organs. And the liver say, oh shoot, you're killing me now, so I cannot produce the bile salts to turn your big fats into droplets at the liver, because the bile have to turn everything into alkaline, because the bile is alkaline. Yeah? So the liver say, oh shoot, hell was you, man. I'm going to store the fat. So you have the liver now is not emulsifying your fats, and it cannot turn your fats into droplets. And then your gallbladder says, hey liver, what's going on, man? I need the fat to be emulsified, because your gallbladder can never ever break or turn your fat into droplets. He can't. That's not his job. His job is to emulsify the fats after your liver emulsify the fat, break the fat into droplets, turn the fat into droplets, that is. You can't turn the fat into droplets, so the liver say, okay, I'm going to store your ass now. Boom. He starts storing your fats. And day by day, you're listening, you're eating the same fat and food every goddamn day. And then all of a sudden, the doctor said to you, hey, Patrick, you got a fatty liver. And then all of a sudden, the same fats you've been eating for so long, make you gain some weight in the adipose tissues, number one. And then it goes and it starts to clog up your receptors now. The receptor is the part that takes the message from the insulin. And then all of a sudden, all the fats start to block it up. And because your liver produces cholesterol 24/7, he leave it out. And too much cholesterol is being produced now. So the doctor says you have high cholesterol level 250. Oh, you got to take some drugs for that. Your liver ain't working properly. And the liver says, okay, you're fatty, the liver go, the insulin come now from the endocrine part of the pancreas and said, what the flick, I can't, what happened, Patrick, there's, what going on there, boy? Your receptors all clogged up. I can't get in. And he pushing the key to open that door, and all the fats is blocking him, and blocking him, and blocking him, high cholesterol blocking him. He said, okay, all right, hell was you, man. And he leave the sugar in your goddamn blood, and then the sugar goes all over the place, and goes into your kidney, and start damaging your kidney because it had to pee it out. Dig that. And then he tell you have kidney damage or kidney disease. Yeah? Because you killed the pancreas. Yeah? And then when you pee on the ground, and when you pee, you pee on the ground, and if you pee on the ground, you have too much sugar, you will see the ants coming to you, pee ants. I want you to pee on the ground and just wait for the ants to come. If you see ants running to your pee, that means you have too much sugar in your urine, as a diabetic. And then all of a sudden, you get diabetes. And then all of a sudden, you get neuropathy, nerve damage. All of a sudden, you get retinopathy, eye problem. All of a sudden, you get diabetes and you have kidney troubles. All of a sudden, you get heart troubles. Because no, he, the doctor, did not know that if you are insulin resistant, meaning that you are producing the insulin, but your beta cells are not utilizing the insulin properly, he's going to give you more insulin because your sugar staying high. He's giving you a double whammy because now he's hardening your arteries with too much insulin, man. So you're putting your heart at risk of you getting a heart attack or getting plaque in the walls of the artery because too much insulin going to kill your heart and kill your arteries. If you have insulin resistance, follow me. You see? So you have to go. And you have to go and put on a program. It's right on Patrick Dell's holistichealing.com. Go look it up. Diabetic program, $1. $1. And I want you to go on my program and follow it. My program here, watch me now. None of these. You can't eat them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. On my program, you can't eat none of these. You cannot eat this either. You can't eat none of them. Other than natural, you can't eat them because you are retraining your pancreas. You got to use you have to go to now the food that have the lower glycemic index. And you have to use them, and you have to retrain the pancreas by using plants. So with my program, you can't eat no fruits at all, no fruits, no honey, no maple syrup, no red bananas, none of them. Because now you are going to put the secretion of your pancreas back into an alkaline terrain, 8.0, 8.3. And then when you do that, the pancreas say, oh my goodness, oh, I love this brother, man. He's taking back the pH back to 8.0, 8.3, so that now I can produce enough enzymes to break the foods down, digestion. I can produce enough insulin to get into the receptors to cause the person to have energy, sugar. Son? Eh? And we come and give you what? Gymnea sylvestre, sugar destroyer. Gymnea sylvestre, sugar destroyer. It destroys sugar in the pancreas. It destroys sugar in the blood. And we give you what? Gentian, digestive beta. If you have cancer in the digestive system, and we give you gentian increases the appetite. It is what we call a digestive beta. It increases your appetite. Make you eat. And we give you wild yam. And the wild yam is working between the gallbladder and the pancreas now because it is an antispasmodic plant. It don't make the gallbladder contract. And we're working between the duct. The bile duct we call the gallbladder and the pancreas share one duct now. You don't get pancreatitis. You don't get pancreatic cancer. You understand? You don't get diabetes. You follow? Huh? And because we give you now GTF chromium, glucose tolerance factor. Because chromium, if there's no chromium in the pancreas, you get diabetes faster too, because you can't utilize glucose properly. GTF chromium. Because we give you what again? Alpha lipoic acid. Because we give you again magnesium. And we put you in a program. No sugars, no fruits. And you're going to tell me you can't fix diabetes, you can't retrain your pancreas. You can retrain your pancreas. And because that gland is the most active gland in the digestive system, he will thank you and he will love you. He gonna kiss you up. He gonna make love to you every day. You understand? And you're gonna see that you're checking your sugar with this machine. Have a machine, you check it every day, you're gonna say, oh my goodness. Watch me now. You're gonna see. You're gonna start off at 200 milligrams per deciliter. And once you start checking with this here, and you see after the first week, you start saying, oh my goodness, you're going to 150 milligram per deciliter. After the next week, you say, oh shoot, 125 milligram per deciliter. You see, that's the key, because now you're retraining your pancreas now. You're not going back up to 200. Once you go past 200 again, you know that you're not getting better. But you have to go down, you can't go up. And after 125, I say, oh my goodness, I say, you go to 110 milligram per deciliter. You say, oh my goodness, I ain't going back to 150. I ain't going back to 200. I'm coming down. And you're checking every day before you go to bed. Get up in the morning, 70 to 100 milligram per deciliter, not 120 in the morning. You're crazy. You check. And when you check now, you see that you're staying here and you're eating the food the right way with my program, and you're retraining your pancreas. You're retraining your pancreas. And the doctor said, what the flick you been doing, son? Doctor, I changed my diet. I ain't eating no pyramid diet no more. Pyramid diet is a killer diet. You understand? That's what it is. And you fix your diabetes. You retrain your pancreas. You get rid of pancreatitis. And you prevent pancreatic cancer. Because why? You're keeping the pH at 8.0, 8.3 in the secretion of the pancreas. You can never get cancer doing that. Never. And you're keeping your gallbladder healthy too. No gallstones, no sludge in your gallbladder. You're keeping your liver healthy to produce bile salts, to turn the fats into droplets. And because they all talk together, brothers and sisters, and you get good, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel good. And you're going to give God all the glory. I tell you. 95% of the people on that diabetic program reverse diabetes. Go to it. Patrick Dell's HolisticHealing.com. $1 it costs. $1. And let's follow it. Just follow it properly. If you have discipline. Discipline is the key. Follow it. And see how good you will feel. Because lots of people who have diabetes is prone to getting pancreatic cancer. Faster. Check yourself. Give thanks, you know. Wonderful. Don't go back to the old way of life. Jesus Christ said, when he removed the devil from the man, he said to the man, I removed that demon from your shit stink. For your temple. Don't go back. Because if you go back, doing the same ass thing, that devil is going to go. And he's going to get 7 more devils, more better than him, worse than he is. And he's going to come back to you. And he will enter you again. And the state of you will become more detrimental. I tell you, when you fix your pancreas and you retrain it, you feed it enzyme, don't go back. Don't go back. Because when you go back, that disease will come back and will harm you long term. Troubles in your eye, neuropathy, cataracts, glaucoma, neuropathy, kidney disease, kidney failure. It's going to damage you. Don't go back. You understand? When you fix cancer, don't go back to the same foods that gave you cancer in the first place. When you fix diabetes, don't go back. Don't go back, but teach somebody else, because each one teach one. Bless it. Yeah, man, you should that. Coming all over the world to tell everybody. We even went to the Maldives now. We go to the Maldives. We're in the Middle East. We were invited to go to the Maldives, man. You know the Maldives is? Like Malta. We're going all up there soon after Ramadan. We're going all in Malta, because all the people in Malta know who I am. They want me to come to Malta. We want to come to the Maldives. You know what I mean? Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Afghanistan, India, Pakistan, Trinidad, Tobago, St. Lucia. That's it.
Mm. Can't do that. Yeah, Patrick, that's holisthealing.com. Yeah. You can't just want to make them break outside. You can't, and you can't, and you can't do something. You gotta get back to order. Yeah, but still, you gotta put the speaker. That's all right, man. You can't do nothing. You waste of time. That's waste of time. You can't do nothing. Yeah. Now you get 70. There's definitely get 70. 407 0917.